Tim Shea and I were in the same city on Saturday night, although not together. He was at the Badger game, and I was at the Forward Madison game at the Steve, last game of the season doing PA. They lost, but clinched. They are in the playoffs. They will be playing in Colorado next week in the quarterfinal round.
They pulled the Brewers? They
did.
They
well, more so a Diamondbacks.
Okay.
But you were at the Badger game, and I've seen plenty of people who went saying it was not like the worst game or experience, one of the worst flat-out sports or non-sports experiences of their entire life. Would you say that's true?
Yeah. I mean, I've never seen them not score. I don't think I've ever been to like college or NFL where they haven't scored, where the team that I'm rooting for has never scored a touchdown. And it was awful. It was bad. But every time they got the ball, I was like, all right, this is the drive that they score. Because all they had to do was score. All they had to do was score a touchdown. Just one. Couldn't even get one. Punters I'd love to know the punter's yardage for both teams.
I think obviously the Badgers lost to Iowa. Tim was there. I'll pull up the box score, but I think he had like 600 yards punting.
Jeez.
Iowa's punter had 10 punts for 506 yards, longest 62, 6 were inside the 20. We punted 8 times. Our average was 42, and theirs was 50. And I don't know, it's just weird sometimes when like football is so progressive now and so like fast and scoring, and it's weird to see a team. That's what they're built for. They're built for field position game. They're built to not go that far on offense, punt it, pin you back, and then you get the ball back. Then they go a little further. Then they punt it again. Then they get a little further. And they set up it's like how it used to be run, pass. Iowa's offense is punt, field goal.
and we
lost to that.
The Badgers' first drive of the game was probably their best drive. And it was something totally different. Like it was pass. They ran the ball maybe twice on their first drive, and then ended up they elected to punt to start playing that field position game. But that was their best drive. I think they ran the ball a total of 9 times in the first half, 5 and 4 or something like that. So I don't know. It was brutal.
I don't even think, are people even talking about, do they win if Mordecai doesn't get hurt? I don't think so.
I kind of said something like that. I'm like, do you think, I started asking my buddy that I was with, I'm like, if Mordecai's in, do you think they score 1 touchdown? Maybe. I don't know.
They weren't doing much with them in there.
No, they weren't. And I don't know why they chose, Locke, whatever his name is. I don't know why he's the backup, because he had a terrible spring. I'm sure people don't remember this, but
I don't know, Tim. I'm not going to pretend like I know who the other guy was.
The one like practice where he was spotlighted going with the ones. He was like 5 for 9 with 3 interceptions during summer practice. So why he got the backup position, I don't know. But I would have gone with the guy from Franklin. What's his name? Burkett. Give him a chance. But they're not.
How old is this kid?
Burkett?
Yeah.
He's
a freshman?
No. He's second or third year. Redshirt freshman? No, he's second year. Or third
ESPN says he's a freshman, so
he's not a freshman, because obviously he was.
Look, I'm sorry, I don't follow Franklin High. I'm sorry.
He was with. Remember how last year at the bowl game they were like, "Well, who's going to start at quarterback?" Oh. And they ended up going with Vandenboom.
Oh yeah.
So whatever. Fickle. I was about to say Paul Christ. Fickle needs his players. He's playing with Christ's players right now.
Well, it was a very Paul Christ type loss.
Yes, it was.
In a very Paul Christ type game. Your guy Tom Oates with his classic "oops" tweet again. So does this say anything about Fickle? I mean, again, there's got to be they got some transfers in here, but this is not a class he recruited.
No, this is not. Just remember, these are not his players. Yeah, he got the transfers, but those were just. It's looking like those were just fillers till he can get his own players in here. So for the people who are like, "Oh, this isn't going to work," I heard someone compare this to the guy that they got from Utah, that one, the 1.5 year, Gary Anderson. People were comparing that to him, Fickle to him. I was like, "Oh, Badger fans, you're upsetting me. Stop. Just give this guy a recruiting class or two to get things set into place." I think us fans put more pressure on them thinking that this was going to be an air raid offense because he never did say it. And because of the offensive coordinator that they brought in from North Carolina, that they were going to pass. It's looking like the same old Badgers offense.
Well, we always find a reason to think that there could be more than what it is, but it's always a 9-3 team that loses a game they shouldn't to keep them from the Big Ten title game is what it is.
I wouldn't say they should have. This is the game that this was like the Illinois, the trip up game. Iowa was good too. Let's not. Iowa's good at defense.
Well, yeah, but really I think the thinking is we are better than that, and we're not. I guess
if we would have lost, if we would have beaten Iowa and then lost to Illinois or lost to Northwestern or lost to Indiana. So whatever. Like, great. We'll play in a December 28th bowl game at 9:00, and onward we go to next year.
I mean, now we got to go play Bielema.
Yes, and then
Ohio State when you're going out of town on your trip.
My vacation. I saw a tweet. I was previewing my vacation this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I kept on saying all week. I'm like, even before the Iowa game, I kept on saying, I think there's going to be something tricky with that Ohio State game. They might win that game. They're going to lose by 40. Guarantee you that. Put it down.
Yeah, we're done.
So whatever. But Illinois next, Bielema. The only thing I'm really looking forward to this year is A, my vacation, and B, win the Axe back.
Oh,
because that team is worse than the Badgers. That team.
Well, that's where college football is. It's like it's October 15th, and they've already played their way out of anything fun. So now we just got to wait a month to win our rivalry game. Cool.
By the way, I saw an article earlier, but USC, just going off when they come over to the Big Ten, they're in for a rude awakening.
Because of what happened at Notre Dame?
Well, what happened at Notre Dame. And I mean, Notre Dame is as close as you're going to get to Big Ten play.
That was mine and Horvat's lock of the week. Once Notre Dame lost to Louisville, USC was done. There was no This is a Notre Dame narrative. Once they lost to Louisville, it was over for USC.
I mean, what, the 109th ranked defense, USC? Come on, we all saw it.
So when do we start? Because, I want to get in the college football playoff. So next year we got Alabama at Iowa. At USC, Oregon,
Washington
Penn State.
At home, right? We're so screwed. That's why, again, I think that if you compare the two teams, the Badgers and the Hawkeyes, to what's coming up, I think the Badgers are in a better position with coaching, with recruiting, it starts with coaching and it starts with Fickle. So just don't panic. These are Paul Chryst players. You're going to have to give it, 2 years probably, and we'll be fine. This isn't going to be like Gary Anderson, where he's 2 years and then he's like, oh, shit, I'm out. Luke Fickell is a very good coach.
All right. You believe in the vision?
I do. Just ignore the...
It would have been nice if, Fickell was here with less, if it wasn't the first year of Fickell with this schedule.
Yeah. The schedule the past 3 years would have been great for Fickell. But now it's, this is the first year it starts getting a little tougher. And then obviously next year it's Murders Row.
Speaking of next year, the Brewers will not have Brandon Woodruff next year. And at that point, I think while I was so upset about the baseball playoffs and why would I get invested in a team if for 162 games, if it's just going to end in 2 games? Well, good news for me is now I don't have to get invested because I'm on to 2025 with the Brew.
They have to trade Corbin Burns like yesterday. Trade him.
I've seen some arguments it's less likely to trade him.
Why?
Now they're trying to compete. No. He gone.
Yes. Trade him. Trade him and an outfielder and get some good talent back. Maybe a pitcher too. Who knows? Maybe I don't know which way you want to go. You want to go young guys and bulk up the farm system still, or you want to get major league talent?
We haven't talked about the baseball. Are you as like I'm the amount of like pushback and hate I was receiving?
Hey, I heard you were on Barstool.
They spoke my name.
Yes.
I didn't get the level of props that Grant did, nor do I deserve it. But yeah, 2 weeks in a row, Grant gets a shout out on part of my take, and then me. We can only assume that this could get a shout out next, because I need, for your Wisconsin Badgers, I need some shakeaways.
Okay, 3 shakeaways from the game this past weekend against Iowa. I think I've already kind of said them, but I'll repeat them.
But now do them as shakeaways.
Okay. Trust the process. Don't give up on Fickle, everyone. I don't want to hear Gary Anderson being compared to Luke Fickle, all right? Number 2, don't get away from the game plan and then say, Luke Fickle, now I'm going kind of retracted. Luke Fickle kind of sounded like Matt LaFleur. Yeah, we need to involve Braylon Allen a little more. Oh, no shit. You ran the ball 9 times. Stick to the game plan. All right?
Okay.
Number 3 shakeaway. Please beat Illinois. Please. You got Brett Bielema, and now you have Jimmy Leonard. Beat them, even though he's not there on game days.
He's not?
No, he only works Monday through Thursday, and then they let him go for the weekend.
Why doesn't he want to be at the game, or does he just want to sit home and watch TV?
He's just a specialist, a defensive specialist.
So now that's what our here's the Badgers schedule the rest of the year. It's please God don't lose to Illinois. Then it's Ohio State will murder us. Then it's we'll play Indiana. Who cares? Then it's you got to beat Northwestern.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's please God beat Nebraska.
Mm-hmm. And yeah,
and then Minnesota. So all it is now is a bunch of like either the only game that's like whatever is Indiana. The rest are you're either going to try not to get embarrassed or try not to lose to someone shitty.
Now, after this Illinois game, they should win. Hopefully, even with a backup quarterback, they should win. Next week, I'm going to be saying, is there a way for us to beat Ohio State?
Well, yeah. I mean, we're idiots.
Ohio State's. They just go ahead.
I just want. Let's make it an even half dozen of shakeaways. I need 3 on Brandon Woodruff's injury. You know what? I'll do them for you.
Okay, you do them. Go.
Yeah, I'll give you 3 Winks thinks about the Brandon Woodruff injury. Winks thinks number 1. I feel bad for Brandon Woodruff, man. He thought he was past this, and not only did it cost him a playoff run, it's going to cost him a whole season.
Could it cost him his career? Did you see that stat about pitchers that have had this injury and only one has come back? No. Urias from the Dodgers, and we see what happened to him.
All right, shakeaway number 2, and this is a Winks thinks, and it will get edited out if something happens by the time we record. But what I said about Craig Counsell was, you don't put off good news. So I'm worried the longer we don't know, the longer it's bad
100%. I mean, I thought at the Matt Arnold's end of the year press conference, which I don't know why the manager doesn't do anymore either. I thought they were going to announce that Craig Counsell was coming back. So,
yeah.
What's
what?
No, go ahead.
You don't put off bad. You don't put off
No.
good news.
No.
Takeaway number 3, Winks thinks number 3, is I don't know why, and I've seen different speculations. One guy's very adamant that it's because we didn't retire Cecil Cooper's number. Frank, I believe. Frankie C. The Brewers are cursed. I don't know what it is, but it is a curse. And you can like say, okay, it's just, you can talk. If the Diamondbacks do go to the World Series, then it's absolutely a curse. Because not only do teams that beat us always go, now in their run, you're gonna just say Brandon Woodruff's out for the next year. What's going on? What did we do? So what I think it might be is we stole the pilots from Seattle. They were there for a summer, and Selig ripped them away. And then we're all like, "Yay, you got baseball back in Milwaukee."
Bart, here's something. Ever since the Bucks have signed Damian Lillard, the Brewers, the Packers, and the Badgers all sucked.
Yeah,
they can't win.
That is true. Although I think that had you asked me, like if that was going to be the trade, like if you asked me, if I ran Wisconsin sports and you said, all right, Bart, you guys are going to get Dame, but then the Packers are going to suck, the Brewers will get bounced, and the Badgers will lose to Iowa, I would have been like, that's it? That's all I got to give up? All that shit was going to happen anyway. Fucking gladly give it up. So I feel good about it.
Can I ask you a Bucks question real quickly?
You can ask me anything you want.
Do we actually care about this mid-season tournament?
You know what's funny about that, and I'm glad you brought it up, is the Bucks put out their list of theme nights.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna do a Halloween night, a Hoops for Troop night, the Mac Fun night, whatever, Women's Empowerment night, all this stuff, Pride night.
Mm-hmm.
The in-season tournament games are listed as theme nights. It's like November 8th, Hoops for Troops. November 24th, in-season tournament. December 16th, Mac Fun. Jan 26th, Bango's birthday. So according to the Bucks are giving as much, at least from an organizational standpoint, what I can gauge by this one release is that they put as much stock into the in-season tournament as they do with Bango's birthday, which they really do go out for Bango's birthday. So maybe that could be a lot. I don't know.
Yes, I actually I used to, when I worked for the Brewers, I used to work Bango's birthday as a racing sausage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I
got to be in the uniform.
Yeah, I got to be in the costume or supervise the sausages there. So they do a very good job with Bango's birthday.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, good to catch up. We'll have to get together.
Yeah. I guess it's just waiting for the Bucks season to start.
Mm-hmm.
And getting ready for my big vacation. Hey, thanks to
Packers Broncos. What?
Thanks to Q for finding me and taking a picture.
I told him to go talk to you. He said it was an exclusive party you were in when he took a picture.
I was. So
I don't feel like you ever do anything that's not like.
If Cone did mention that someone buy this guy a Badger hat, me. So if anyone wants to donate to the Bart Winkler GoFundMe or whatever you have up, if you still have the link up on your Twitter, you can let's buy me a Badger hat for my vacation.
I think I can buy you one, Timmy.
No. I do have a Badger visor.
Yeah, you need a hat.
Okay. All right.
Tim Shea.
Goodbye, everybody. Go Brewers 2025.